Hello, everyone. Today we will be taking yet another look at the Fluke 801A digital benchtop multimeter. It's old, and old things tend to be built quite nicely. So let's take a look inside. But first of all, I need to show you. I originally thought this thing was just a mains-powered multimeter, as you can see by the three-prong mains connector. But even though that it's unplugged, you can still use it as a multimeter on its own internal battery. This thing seems to be quite old, but the battery inside of it still works. Maybe it was replaced, but good grief! And anyway, before I get too carried away, let's actually take this thing apart. There is a single screw on the back, which can easily be removed. Heck. So now I can remove this little screw, and now it just slides apart like that. So here it is. Let's flip it upside down because the circuit board is actually kind of upside down. So here it is, the lovely, lovely internals of this thing. So all of the switches and probably a lot of the input circuitry is under here. But anyway, let's just look at some of the stuff that we already have here. So this is the actual processor, I guess, section over here. And this right here is the main microcontroller or multimeter chipset that this thing has. It's made by Intersil. It's a 40-pin DIP IC. Some very old-fashioned brown resistors over here. Some, I don't know what these are. They might be resistors, they might be capacitors. This thing right here looks like a crystal. Then another resistor or capacitor in here. A transistor, a bunch of stuff over here, some sort of calibration potentiometer, which I really want to touch, but I will not. Some tantalum capacitor over here, and the battery pack, which is probably a nickel cadmium battery pack, and some capacitor, and some sort of common mode interference suppression inductor. And now let's look at the other side and take a squiz at some of the power electronics. Boy, oh boy, that is one heck of a fuse. Let's remove it. It is surprisingly heavy for a fuse. It's a bus fuse, UL listed. Oddly enough, it doesn't appear to show the current. It's made by a company based in St. Louis, Missouri, I suppose. Says C cap for symbol and amperes, so bus BBS3 is just a 3 amp fuse. Well, I guess it can take a lot more current than that because just look at the thing. It's probably filled with some sort of sand too to prevent arcs from forming inside. Very high voltage and very high current fuse. Here's a transformer which has a 220 volt and 110 volt switch. So if you wanted to take this outside of North America, I guess you could. So you could just switch it to 220 volts and then boom. And we also have a similar switch over here for switching between 50 and 60 hertz. So I just flipped both of those switches. So just like that, you can switch it between North American and almost everywhere else in the world modes. And also, there is this weird circuit board, which is probably very fragile. It's got a couple chips, which appear to be surface mounted on it. And it is surprisingly clean inside of this thing. I mean, there is almost no dust. Oh, whoops. Almost no fingerprints. I mean, this thing is amazing. It's just amazing to see how they have accomplished this. Man, this is... And it still works. I mean, the battery is the most impressive part. This battery probably has never been changed before, and it can probably be unplugged. And there's some sort of battery cell sitting around there. And in fact, let's see if I can remove this thing. So here are two nickel cadmium cells, which is surprising, especially since one of them appears to have leaked. Oh my goodness, and it still works. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Anyway, I better wash my hands and put this thing back together. So it's back together, and even with this crazy, leaky nickel cadmium battery pack, it somehow still works just fine. And also, yet another design oddity that is oh so common with these old products. They always have the power switch on the power button on the front, but for some reason, the power switch is all the way over at the back where the power supply is typically located. I mean, wouldn't it be easier to have the power switch closer to the front and not have this giant plastic bar to push the power switch? And also, this is just a power switch. It has 6 pins, so is this a double pull, double throw switch? I mean, you don't really need a double pull, double throw switch for a power switch. You only need a 2-pole switch, or maybe a 3-pole if you're feeling extra fancy. And these wires and some sort of resistor in a fuse package? What is going on here? And these capacitors, they all look fine, even those purple ones, which I've heard sometimes aren't so reliable. And I have no idea what this is. Is it some sort of linear regulator? It has a heatsink. Maybe it's a diode because it only has 2 pins connected to the board. And some sort of bridge rectifier. Actually, 2 bridge rectifiers, both of which appear to be an 8-pin dip package, but with only 4 pins installed. Yeah, this thing has a lot of oddities, but it's very reliable, and that's the magic of Fluke. I mean, their modern multimeters are probably a waste of money, but this old one, it's just amazingly built. Anyway, that's about it.